How are you guys doing? Today is Thursday, March 25th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I plan on doing a preview for the Sweet 16 for the women's bracket of March Madness, of course, the college basketball tournament, which started out with 64 teams coming into this weekend, and then after 2 rounds of play, now there's only 16 going into next weekend. And to preview the games, I think it's necessary to provide the context for how each of these 16 teams got here. I wasn't able to do a second round preview, but of course with this, it should be able to tell the story as to how all of these 16 teams got here. So of course, starting with the women's program that everyone is very familiar with, UConn is the number 1 seed in the Riverwalk region, and they are going to face off against 5 seed Iowa. Of course, 1st seed UConn got here in the first round. They were able to beat High Point pretty convincingly. They won 102-59. And then going into last week's matchup, they would face off against 8th seed Syracuse. And in this most recent matchup, which was a couple of days ago, which was Tuesday, they were led by Aaliyah Edwards, who finished with 19 points and 5 rebounds as they went on to destroy Syracuse. The biggest in first half they went on to outscore them by 15, and then second half, they went on to they outscored them by 14 in the third quarter, 7 in the fourth, 21 in the fourth quarter. So very dominant performance, and that of course is how you see UConn come here. They're very familiar with the Sweet 16 round, and of course in this round they will face off against 5 seed Iowa, who got here after beating Central Michigan by 15 in the first round. They won 87-72, and then they were able to face off against Kentucky, and they were able to pull off a very big win, and this would come on Tuesday. They were led by their guard, Caitlin Clark, who had 35 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, and I want to say upset because it was a 5-4 matchup, but they beat the seed that was supposed to perform better than them. And now it'll be a 1-5 matchup for the Sweet 16 matchup in the Riverwalk region, as the winner of this will face off between the winner of the 2-6 Sweet 16 matchup between Baylor and Michigan. Baylor, the 2 seed, is here after beating 15 seed Jackson State 101-52 very convincingly in the first round. And then in the second round, they were able to destroy Virginia Tech 90-48. As they won on Tuesday. They were led by Dejanay Carrington's 20 points and 8 rebounds, as they went on to, of course, outscore Virginia Tech by double digits in 2 quarters, 2 of the 4, and then the other ones they outscored them by 8 and 6. So of course it wasn't really a contest for them. And then of course making it into this round, Michigan was able to make it to this round after beating 11th ranked, they beat 11 seed Florida Gulf Coast 87-66. And then they were able to beat 3 seed Tennessee 70-55, as they were led by Naz Hillman, 19 points and 15 rebounds. They went on to outscore Tennessee by 9 in the first half, and then they outscored them by 6 in the second half to pick up a very big win. And now this matchup between Baylor and Michigan is scheduled for Saturday at 3:00. This game will of course be on ABC as well, as in this. And once this game is done, the first matchup for the Elite 8 will be set in stone. And then jumping out to the other 2 matchups for the 27th at 6:00, 1st seed North Carolina State of the Mercado region will face off against 4 seed Indiana. 1 seed North Carolina State was able to make it here after beating North Carolina A&T in the first round 79-58. And then in the second round, they were able to beat 8 seed USF or Southern Florida 79-67. And of course, in this matchup, they were led by Jakia Brown-Turner's 19 points, as they were able to outscore South Florida by 13 points in the third quarter on Tuesday. And with this win, of course, they will match up against a very formidable Indiana team. In the first round, they went on to beat VCU by 31 points. They won 63-32. And then yesterday, Indiana was able to beat Belmont, the 12 seed, 70-48, pretty convincingly, led by their guard, Grace Berger, who had 17 points. In this matchup, they would end up outscoring Belmont by 9 in the first half, or not by 9, but by 12 in the first half, and they went on to outscore them by 10. So, I mean, very big game for Indiana. And now Indiana's next test, they will face off against a number 1 seed. That will be at 6 o'clock. That'll be the first matchup. And then the second matchup of the Mercado region right after that at 8 o'clock. And of course, the first game, or these games will be on ESPN2. The second game will be the 2-3 matchup between 2 seed Texas A&M and 3 seed Arizona. 2 seed Texas A&M is here after beating 15 seed Troy 84-80 in the first round. And then in this last round, they were able to beat Iowa State 84-82 in a very, very close matchup that went all the way down to the wire. But of course, coming off of this would be the overtime game that would probably seal that would give Jordan Nixon give her a better argument to get drafted higher in the WNBA draft. But that's what Texas A&M was doing, and they were able to beat 7 seed Iowa State yesterday to earn this spot to face off against the 3 seed Arizona on Saturday. Arizona is here after beating 11 seed BYU 52-46. It was a pretty big win for both sides, naturally. But Arizona was led by Ari McDonald, and this was yesterday's game. She had 17 points and 11 rebounds. They went into the fourth quarter completely tied, but Arizona would pull it away at the last minute, and now it'll be a 2-3 matchup for the Sweet 16. And then on the 27th, on Saturday, after this 8 o'clock matchup, we will have the second elite matchup planned as the winner of 2-3 Texas A&M Arizona will face off against the winner between 1 seed North Carolina State and 4th seed Indiana. And then looking at the games that'll be played on Sunday, starting with the first game looking at the first game on Sunday, that'll be the day before the Elite 8 takes off. Starting in the Hemisphere region, it'll be a 1-8 matchup between 1 seed South Carolina and 5 seed Georgia Tech. This game will be on ACC. It'll be on ABC, And then looking out to how 1 seed South Carolina got here, they were able to beat 16 seed Mercer 79-53 in the first round. And then they were also able to beat 8th ranked Oregon State. And then this was on Tuesday. In this game, they were led by Aaliyah Boston's 19 points and 7 rebounds. In the second quarter, they went on to outscore Oregon State by 11 points. They outscored them by 12 in the third to give a sense of how South Carolina was dominating until virtually garbage time, and they were able to secure a spot in the Sweet 16, a round in which they are no stranger. And in this one, they will face off against 5 seed Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is here after beating 12 seed Stephen F. Austin in the first round, 54-52, a very, very close one. And then this would lead into their game against West Virginia, where they would actually win incredibly convincingly. On Tuesday, they went on to beat West Virginia 73-56. The difference really being a third quarter where they outscored West Virginia 22-9, led by Karela Kubaji's 21 points and 21 points and 12 rebounds. Georgia Tech will advance to this game. This game will be the first game on Sunday. It will be at 1 o'clock. And the winner of this matchup will face off against the winner of the last matchup on Sunday. As 2 seed Maryland will face off against 6 seed Texas. That game will be on ESPN. Looking out to how these two teams got here. 2 seed Maryland was able to beat Mount St. Mary's in the first round, 98-48. Naturally, as they were able to advance to the second round to face off against Alabama. And then in this matchup, they were able to drop 100 in a game as they were able to beat Alabama 100-64, led by Angel Reese's 19 points and 5 rebounds. They wanted to score 30 points in the first quarter, and of course, with the short quarters, that's an incredibly tough feat to do. They went on to, they kind of imposed their will, outscoring Alabama by 29 points in the first half alone. With this win, they will go on to face off against the 6 seed Texas, who made it here after beating 11 seed Bradley in the first round, to where they would face off against 3 seed UCLA. And in this matchup, they would end up beating UCLA. This was the game yesterday. They beat them 71-62 behind Kyra Lambert's 17 points and 10 rebounds. with this win, this will be the last matchup on the 28th on Sunday, as the winner between 2-seed Maryland and 6-seed Texas will face off against the winner of 1-seed South Carolina and 5-seed Georgia Tech. And of course, this is all in the hemisphere region. Looking at the games that are going to be sandwiched in the middle between the 1 and the 9 o'clock games, at 3 o'clock, it'll be the 1-5 matchup between 1-seed Stanford and 5-seed Missouri State in the Alamo region. First seed Stanford, of course, making it here after they were able to beat Utah Valley in the first round 87-44. And then in the second round, they were able to face off against Oklahoma State, pull off a 73-62 win. Very convincing one, as they were able to kind of coast through this game. They were led by Cameron Brinks, 12 points and 9 rebounds. The big difference being a 14-point difference in the second quarter. They outscored Oklahoma State 25-11. The other quarters were relatively close except for that one, and with this difference, they will face off against 5-seed Missouri State, who made it here after beating 12-seed UC Davis 70-51 in the first round, and they would advance to face off against 13-seed Wright State, who upset 14-seed Wright, who upset 4-seed Arkansas. And then looking into how Missouri State fared, Missouri State would end up winning their game against Wright State 64-39, led by L. Ruffridge's 20 points. And this matchup between Missouri State and Stanford will be at 3 o'clock. And the winner of that matchup will face off against the winners of the 2-6 matchup in the Alamo region. That will be 2-seed Louisville versus 6-seed Oregon. This game will be on ESPN. 2-seed Louisville here after beating 15-seed Marist in the first round 72-43, to which they would advance to face off against Northwestern. And in this game against Northwestern, they would end up winning 62-53. This was last night's game. They went into the fourth quarter tied after Northwestern had a pretty big lead. Northwestern outscored Louisville by 15 points in the first quarter, going into halftime with a 12-point lead. Louisville would cut that 12-point lead and they would tie the game before going into the fourth quarter. They carried that momentum into the fourth quarter, winning by 9. So they went on to outscore Northwestern by 21 points in the second half, led by Olivia Cochran's 13 points and 15 rebounds. And Louisville in this round will face off against 6-seed Oregon. Oregon made it here after beating 11-seed South Dakota in the very first round, 67-47. And then yesterday, they were able to beat 3rd-seed Georgia 57-50. The big difference being the third quarter, where they outscored Georgia 13-6. They were led by their forward, Sadana Prince, who had 22 points and 5 rebounds. And with these, and with that, these two teams will face off at 7 o'clock on Sunday, and the winner of this matchup will face off against the winner between Stanford and Missouri State for that Elite Eight matchup. And all of these games, of course, will be finished on Sunday, where the Elite Eight will take place on Monday and Tuesday. And before the Elite Eight matchups are played, I will try to get a preview up for that round before it's played. But with that said, that's virtually everything going on in the women's bracket for March Madness, through the first 2 rounds, through the first 2 weekends, going into the second weekend of the tournament. Once again, I want to thank, today is Thursday, March 25th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims. I want to thank everyone for listening to all 14 minutes of this piece. I hope all is well, and I will catch you with another installment of this segment once the next, I believe, 8 games are played. That will decide the next 8 competitors. Thanks once again for listening to my piece. I hope all is well, and peace out. I'll catch you Monday, I guess. Peace.